Eve of this grim milestone, several protests happened across the United States.
Go ahead.
Sorry, Chris. In Boston, thousands of pro-Palestine protesters blocked a street demanding the U.S. stops providing Israel with weapons. No arrests were reported. And in Los Angeles, hundreds of protesters rallied downtown. They were part of a Party for Socialism and Liberation Los Angeles.
In New York, college students are expected to protest Israel today. The New York Post is reporting at least a dozen campuses will stage walkouts this morning. They'll begin at Columbia, which is, of course, the epicenter of campus protests earlier this year. Police and campus security are aware. They're monitoring the situation. Jewish students are planning to respond with their own vigil for the roughly 1,200 Israelis killed on this day 1 year ago.
And with us now to discuss is Danny Karon, Cleveland-based attorney and law professor, and he's taught at Columbia Law School previously. Thank you so much for joining us here this morning. We, of course, saw how the protests spread and the school year ended at many universities without traditional graduation ceremonies. It was a huge disruption. What do you think we should expect to see today and in the days and weeks to come as we mark this tragic 1 year of war?
I think despite the latent and blatant anti-Semitism that's lacing all these protests, I think we should see a much more disciplined approach to things. I think that's because the schools have gotten smarter and they're doing more by way of protocols to ensure against violence. I think despite that, you're going to have kids who want to get on the internet. They're going to want to get on Instagram and Facebook. They want to be part of a cause, as ill-founded, misinformed, and uninformed as they are, just to make their hit. And it's going to come with tremendous consequences, both academically and by way of getting arrested. I mean, these are terrible, terrible choices these kids made and are going to continue to make today despite the enhanced and increased protocols that are going to be in place.
Because you look back at last school year and things really heightened in the final weeks of the year leading up to graduation, but now it's the beginning of the school year, and overseas you have a war that's now widening in Lebanon as Israel fights with Hezbollah. How might that escalation and the timeline of this school year play into what we see on campuses?
I think it's a clean slate for these kids. They're going to do it again. They're going to protest. I said latent, I meant blatant. It's blatantly uninformed and as misinformed as they were last school year. Now it will include misinformation as it concerns Hezbollah, just like it did Hamas. I think they're going to get themselves in trouble. I think it's going to have consequences, because if you're interviewing, for instance, for a job, and you were a protester, and you're asked, did you protest? Did you get arrested? And you say, and you did, and you say, no, you're a liar. You say, yes, you have bad judgment. These are choices that are going to live with these kids for their entire careers.
And critics have noted that students have been having active discussions on the situation in Israel, but the coverage continues to focus on the chaos outside on the campus lawns. We talk about the systemic change that's happening, those conversations that students are having inside the school, and how this might impact university leadership and what happens on campus.
I can't believe the extent to which it's impacted university leadership. Given my time in education, I've never seen the administration care this much about what these ill-informed kids have to say, because most of the time they don't really know what they're talking about, and that's never been more evident than here. I think that said, you've had divestment decisions. You've had schools getting student settling, such as NYU just recently. It's happening just because public opinion is directing things that way. I think the schools that stand resolute and firm and change their protocols to firm up what can and can't happen, what First Amendment rights kids have and what the First Amendment doesn't protect, and they make these kids understand what the protocols and parameters are, I think that's a suitable and responsible approach to these sorts of protests.
Danny Karon, attorney and law professor, thank you for your time and your insight. We appreciate it.
It's always a pleasure. Thank you.
Still ahead.